Hey Saints, I'm Drew Bancroft.
And I'm Nicky Arrett. Welcome back to another week of SFHS Today. Happy Snow Week, Saints. In national news, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar announced that she is entering the race for the Democratic presidential nomination in 2020 presidential election.
Klobuchar gave her announcement against the backdrop of a snowstorm. Storms ended up canceling and delaying our own school days. Due to these cancellations, Spirit Week is this week, and the Snow Days Pep Fest will be held this Friday.
Make sure to cast your votes for Snow Day King and Queens before this Thursday. The link for voting can be found on e-news.
In other school news, if you're interested in the Trap and Ski Club, flyers can be found in the Community Education Office now.
Today there will be an end of the trimester art show in the IMC from 3 to 6, so we sent out Paige Aldrich to get more information.
When, where, and what is the art show?
So the art show is actually coming up next week, Tuesday, February 19th. Opening night is from 3 to 6 in the IMC right after school. And then it will be on display all next week. So students will take down work at the end of the week, probably on Friday. So in the art show, we have each one of the visual arts classes that are offered every trimester. This trimester, Ms. McQuay has ceramics 1, 2, and 3 classes. So all those students in those courses will have a piece of artwork there. And then my courses that I am offering this trimester are graphic design, drawing 2, and painting 1. So each one of those students in those classes will also have a piece of artwork in there. And basically opening night, anybody that attends, so students, parents, teachers, community members, they're allowed to vote for best of show pieces from that opening time from 3 to 6. Come out, see the artwork. If you don't get a chance to come on opening night, then stop in the IMC anytime next week and see what our students have been doing all trimester long.
Speaking of art, some students in the art classes got the opportunity to go on a field trip to the Wiseman Modern Art Museum at the University of Minnesota and to the Minneapolis Institute of Art for more classical experience. Reporter Caitlin Riley went along for the ride.
I think the field trip is a good opportunity because there's a lot of things that we see during the day that students have seen examples of online and on PowerPoints and on their phone, and it's something completely different to see it in real life. And I think that experience of getting outside of the classroom to find relevant opportunities can make an impact on their growth.
I think seeing artwork up close in a museum too allows you to see as a student the scale of work and some of the work that you can possibly interact with in natural light and setting and room environment. And to see that online or see that obviously like on a slideshow that we could present in class, it just doesn't do justice to some of the work that we were able to see face to face.
And Ms. Close, you do an assignment with this, correct?
Yes.
Can you kind of go over that?
So in drawing 2, we do a human figure study, and we try to learn how to draw the face, the body, use correct proportions. And I think one of the important things for students to understand is that all artists learn how to do that. Whether they decide to distort it or make it different or not is up to them artistically. But learning how to do it, how to do it correctly, and looking at previous artists' work is really a good thing to learn and understand. So yeah, in my drawing 2 class, we do a project that's based off of this museum tour and exhibit, and students get to pick an artwork of a famous artist and then try to crop it and rearrange it and make it their own work based on the human figure.
Why is this piece your favorite?
This piece is my favorite because of the angles and how if you look at it from this way, it looks completely different than when you look at it from front on. It's very pretty. I love the primary colors in it and how they all act together. And I just love the form and the colors and the blockiness of it.
Why do you like this piece next to you?
I really like the attention to detail and the little people down in the bottom and all the little parts.
What did you guys take away from seeing other artists' art?
It inspired us to be more creative and work harder in class.
Currently taking an AP class, the registration for AP test taking is coming up fast.
Nick Gerlach and Tanner Lowe went out to get more information on this subject in another edition of Inside SF.
The students can expect to take their tests. The first test is on May 8th and the last test is Thursday, May 16th.
I would probably see how confident you are in the material and maybe talk to your teacher about it or talk to other people. Because if you get a good study group of people that are all doing it together, then it is a lot easier.
The registration actually started this last Monday, which was the 11th. And then the closing date for registration is going to be Friday, February 22nd. But you can still register until the 25th. But the late fee of a $10 registration late fee will start on the 23rd.
It's just way cheaper than an actual college course, so just try it. Can't hurt.
Thanks for the important update. Everyone register by the deadline so you guarantee a spot.
With other things we've been working on in SFHS Media, Jack and the squad are wrapping up the food review series next week.
Coming at you with the super epic food return, please enjoy the trailer for the last episode.
I like food, so do you. It's Jack Plummer's Food Review.
That's all we have for you this snow week, Saints.
Stay tuned for RQT and Sports.
It's the random question thing, ding.
What's a good RQT question?
Are raisins just grape jerky?
Okay, what's your favorite school lunch?
What's your favorite basketball team?
What's your favorite football team?
Alright, what's your favorite wrestling movie again? What's your favorite class?
What's your favorite rapper?
What's your favorite kind of pie?
Hey Saints, I'm Nathan Atkinson. Welcome to sports. As trimester 2 comes to a close, many winter sports are wrapping their seasons up. On Friday, the wrestling team hosted the section meet. The top wrestlers in each weight class will move on to state, and every other wrestler season will come to a close. The wrestling team has had a year filled with many milestones. Many of the Saints wrestlers have reached or are nearing the 50-win mark. Reporter Nick Pierce spoke with some of these milestone athletes.
What year did you start wrestling varsity?
I started wrestling varsity as a freshman.
I started wrestling varsity 7th grade.
Varsity.
I started wrestling varsity my sophomore year.
I started wrestling varsity as an 8th grader.
How does it feel to get 50 wins?
It's just a great accomplishment, and all the hard work's paying off.
It's a great accomplishment, and I'm very happy.
Feels pretty good. It was one of my goals coming into it, and I'm actually one away from 75.
It feels pretty great. I think it's a big accomplishment for me.
What advice do you have for younger wrestlers?
Just hit the weights.
Stay in the room, I guess. Always grind and embrace it.
The advice I'd give to younger wrestlers is just stick with it and put in the time, and you'll get results.
Stick with it and grind it out.
Also on Friday, gymnastics traveled to their section meet, where the top gymnasts will move on to state and the remaining participants' seasons will end. Speaking of gymnastics, reporters Ashton Perry and Nick Gerlach spoke to a few of the Saints gymnasts to hear how their season is going.
How many years have you been involved with gymnastics?
14 years.
And how many have you been on the St. Francis team?
This is my third.
I've been doing gymnastics for 10 years.
I've been doing gymnastics for 10 years, but this is my first year on the high school team.
What is your favorite of them?
Bars.
Probably beam.
I like bars, and that's because I like to swing around on them, and it's been pretty easy for me compared to all the other events.
What is your favorite memory of gymnastics?
Just like all the meets and like cheering people on.
I like having the new experiences, having different coaches, and being with people and getting closer with them.
How did you get involved with coaching and gymnastics as a whole?
I got involved in coaching. I was a former gymnast, and we gave back to the younger gals. So I started coaching when I was actually still competing, and then getting involved in gymnastics myself probably when I was 5 or 6 years old. A couple of my friends did gymnastics, so I thought it was kind of cool and went from there.
And then how is gymnastics scored?
Gymnastics is scored on a 10.0 scale for high school. We base our routines on skills that are for a point value. We can get up to 8/10 in bonus, and then deducted for our errors from there, and then bonus added back in to make that 10.
Is there anybody that's standing out right now this year?
Standouts going into sections would be Felicia Bartel, who is a senior, went to state last year on vault and bars. And then Allie Frank, who is a 10th grader, is really coming on at the end of the season, getting ready for sections.
And what is your guys' record?
We are 4-4 right now.
What is the best part of coaching this year?
I think the best part of coaching this year is, since I'm coaching by myself, the rewards at the end and seeing how far the girls have actually come is very rewarding.
Moving on to a colder sport, boys hockey traveled to Duluth Marshall last Tuesday and lost to the Hilltoppers 1-4. The following Thursday, the boys rounded off their regular season with a home game against the Chisago Lakes Wildcats that ended in a 2-3 loss for the Saints after overtime. On Saturday, the Saints fought for a spot in sections at the play-in game. On the girls' side of hockey, the season has ended. On Friday, February 8th, the Saints lost to the Andover Huskies 1-3. On the girls' side of hockey, the season has ended. On Friday, February 8th, the Saints lost to the Andover Huskies 1-3. Basketball season will carry on a few weeks longer than other winter sports. Last week, boys basketball traveled to Cambridge-Isanti, falling to the Blue Jackets by a score of 66-78. Later in the week, on Friday, the Saints also traveled to Duluth East. Girls basketball hosted conference rivals Cambridge-Isanti on Tuesday. The game came with a halftime youth scrimmage and a narrow loss of 47-49 for the Saints. Later in the week, the Saints would host Champlin Park on Saturday. Moving on to the dance team, their season finished at sections in Blaine. Don't worry if you missed any of the action this year. Reporters Jenna Cook and Grace Vaness have done a recap on the dance season.
How was your senior season being the only captain?
It was definitely a different season knowing that I was the only captain because I went from having 5 captains to only having myself. So it was definitely a little bit different, like the responsibilities changed a little bit, but overall it was a really good season. We had fun, and it was a whole new varsity team, so we had to learn how to work out different stuff, but overall it was really good, fun season.
It was good. We had a lot of new girls on the varsity team this season, and it was really fun, and we all bonded as a team and really came together and improved a lot together.
Now on to skiing. The Alpine ski team finished their season last Tuesday in sections at Giants Ridge. In other news, last week, 4 Saints signed their national letter of intent to play collegiate sports. That's all I have for you this week, Saints. Stay warm.